Hello, my friends. Welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, August 25th, 2026. This is Jennifer. Welcome back to my sewing room. I am very excited to share a new project. I showed you guys these last week. These are the two books that I made from quilt panels, and these gave me the idea for making a soft book completely from scratch based on my own ideas. So my embroidery machine has a bunch of frames built in where you can put a frame around a quilt label or whatever. And so what I decided to do was pull fabric from my stash and make pairs of frames. I ended up making a couple extra just in case I needed more pages or I messed something up. And so the first step of the project was to just make these frames. So this is fabric, batting, and then a layer of medium weight cutaway stabilizer. So I did this on my embroidery machine. This is roughly 6.5, 7 inches. I went as big as I could go on the hoop that my machine will take. And so the inside is about 6 inches. They all vary a little bit because I tried to use all the different frames on the machine because I just wanted to play with all of them. And so I did that, and this is just one of those varieties. My first thought was that I might machine embroider the design ideas that I had, and then I was like, you know what? I haven't used my Cricut for baby stuff yet. So I was like, I'm gonna crack out my Cricut. I have a Maker 3. I've had it for couple of years now. Gosh, maybe 3. I'm not entirely sure. I've had it for a while now. I love it. I don't use it all the time, but when I use it, I tend to really use it. So I pulled out Design Space, got into the software, and I started designing pages. And I used a lot of feedback from my kiddo whose baby this book will be for eventually. And we had a blast putting this together. So prepare yourself for potentially the cutest thing I have ever made. So this is a book of cats. So it says cats in English and in Spanish because I live in Texas, so you get a lot of bilingual here. And then this is the spine, so you have a cat fabric. And then inside of this book are all of the cats that this child is likely to think of as their cats. So it includes their parents' cat, it includes our cats, and it includes sort of their honorary grandmother's cats. So here we go. Cats. And then the very first page, this is Marie. If you guys remember, Marie was with me a couple weeks ago. I was pet sitting her. She is a 20-year-old tabby cat who we adopted as a kitten and has lived with one of my kids for 8 years. She loves yarn. So we put her on yarn, and because she is the oldest kitty and she is a very sassy girl, she gets a little sparkly crown. Next up, we have our orange boys. This is Ramses and Iliad. And this is where I started getting really more creative in the app. So Iliad is a stock image. All of these start with stock images from Cricut and Design Space. So this is a stock image. I changed the color on this. Ramses, I actually removed the face from the original image and put this little bit more aloof face. His nickname is actually Aloof Floof because he is very serious. So I was trying to capture everyone's personalities here, and I put little springs here because those are their favorite toys. Next up, we have Mabel and Dipper, and I tried to capture their personalities as well. I got Dipper's little dot here, and Mabel, this is her favorite position. She loves to lay on her back with her legs in the air. It's just a thing that she does. So for these, to make them personalized, I added his white chin and his dot, and then I added her white belly and her little white feet. And next up we have Rosie, who is our flame point. And she's just a happy cat. She's always a happy cat. She's very chill and happy and just super duper cute. So for this one, I actually took just a cat shape that had no stripes or anything, and I drew in the little M on her head and little stripes here because she's very pale. If you see her in the sunlight, she has stripes, but if you do not see her in the sunlight, you don't really see stripes at all. So I wanted to kind of represent that. So next up are our honorary grandmother's cats, and This is Athena. She is a tortie, and she has, it's not really a heart shape, but she has like a little splotch here, and she has little splotches on her toes. Her fur is actually quite speckled, but I was working with solid HTV, which is heat transfer vinyl, and we are going for caricature, so that's what we did. But she is a very, very dark kitty. And then she has a little mouse toy, so I put that on there. And this is another kitty from that household. This is Marpy. Her real name is Miss Marple, but everyone calls her Marpy. She's very, very cute, and she is quite a bit Siamese cat, and she is a little bit cross-eyed. Not a lot, just a tiny bit, so I tried to capture that. And she is a chubby, happy cat, so that's what I was trying to get there. And this is Mr. Hercule Poirot. And he's an orange tabby with a white underbelly and white paws. And he has this great little shape on his face. So I actually pulled, I think this was a Mercedes symbol, and then I made his front legs white, and he loves running water, so we put a little faucet on there. This took me the better part of 3 days to do because of all the designing and all of the tweaking of the different images and just generally getting everything exactly the way we wanted. I'm so proud of this. I did mention last week that I didn't want to turn this inside out, so I was going to serge it, and I did. I serged around the pages. I just made like a really tight stitch as wide as I could go, and serged around the individual pages. So this is a quilt sandwich, this is a quilt sandwich, and then I serged all the way around and then stitched these together. This is a 2.5-inch strip of fabric. I made several masks out of this fabric, and I just had a little bit left, and it worked out perfectly for this project. So you get cats here, cats here. I kind of wish I'd used a different fabric here because you don't really get cats, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. Kiddo's not going to care. So the other thing that I did was, you might be able to tell this is textured. This is puff vinyl that Jules gave me. So I used puffy vinyl on the cover, and then the names are puffy vinyl so that they have texture. I did have to go in and kind of trim these a little bit because it does grow, and like right between the I and the L, they just kind of bled together. So I just ended up kind of shaving a little bit of that vinyl off so that you could still read it. I did do, as I mentioned before, so you can see the different border on all the pages. I did all the frames are just a little bit different. And yeah, so guys, super happy with this. I am so excited to get to share it with you. And yeah, I could not be more proud. Everyone I've shown it to so far has just oohed and awed, and especially the people who love these kitties have been delighted to see this. So that is gonna be it for me today, guys. I have a little thing that I made that I'm gonna save for next week since this is already so long. I'm helping one of my kids move right now, so I anticipate being extraordinarily busy this week with things that are not sewing. So we'll see if I have anything done next week or not. And if I don't, I do have one little thing I've held in reserve that I can show you guys then. So you guys have a really wonderful week. Have a crafty week. Hang around for some bird footage, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.